1, 2, 3. We are not live. We are not live. Hello, lovely YouTuber. Welcome. Hello, lovely Gary. I am Rachel. This is the channel that aims to inspire you, get you crafting, give you some mindfulness. And at the moment, Gary, from the comments we're getting, it seems to be working. People are really enjoying it. Yeah. About comments, do me a favor. Please hit the like button right now. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it, people. Let's get it out of the way. Just do it. Bing. It's the thumb. In case you're thinking, where's the like? Where's the like? It's the thumb. Just hit the thumb. Bing. And then if you do leave us a comment, it helps us to go into the algorithm and helps other people find the channel and then have a jolly good time, which is what Gary and I are doing. Now, you may wonder why I'm wearing a crown today. Why are we wearing a crown, Gary? Why?
Is there something going on at the weekend?
There is something going on at the weekend. I'm actually going to be there on the balcony with the king, the new king. I've got my jewels ready. I do think I was swapped at birth. This feels right for me. I feel like I was part of the aristocracy. It feels right. Feels right, although I'm not sure I actually like it that much, so probably not. But anyway, yes, it's the king's coronation this weekend, and our little crafty moment today is going to be sort of celebration, coronation related, isn't it, Gary? Because we're going to be making some bunting. I was hoping for a bit more information than but we will keep
Do you want me to explain what we're going to do, or am I waiting?
No. Do you know why? Because we'll do the mindfulness now, as we always do. But lovely YouTuber, if you think enough of this nonsense, just have a look in the time code below and you will see exactly the explanation from Gary and the arty exercise. And you don't have to sit through any of this. So Gary won't explain because people can skip straight away. We always forget we're not in real time. People can skip. So if you go in, we'll see you there. But if you're staying, let's do a little bit of mindfulness. Okay, so I just put my blue glasses on to match my, you see, this is royalty all over, look, they're blue to match the blue jewels. Right, don't let your loyalty become slavery. If they don't appreciate what you bring to the table, let them eat alone. If people don't appreciate what you do, you shouldn't feel, well, I should be loyal to this person. I think you have to look at yourself and go, okay, this person is not appreciating what I have got to bring to the table. So I'm withdrawing my energy. I'm withdrawing my loyalty. Loyalty is key, but yourself is higher than that, I believe, when it comes to that.
No, I agree. There is, I mean, because I'm a Scorpion, and the Scorpion, they say, oh, Scorpion's got a sting in its tail, and that's just looking at the negative. But a Scorpion is very loyal to friends, very loyal to work and work colleagues. But sometimes it can be, it can undo you, you know, and it can hit you in the solar plexus when you give all this loyalty, and then suddenly maybe someone that you thought you would expect the same back, and someone lets you down, and then woof, it's a right punch to the guts, isn't it? You know, it really does. And I think that's the point where you do have to take a step back and say, okay, you know, you've got there's a quality of loyalty, but you can't let that be your undoing. You can't let that loyalty be just taken for granted, or, you know, and if you've been let down, then that is the time that you do have to step back, and you do have to sort of like mark one up and think, I just need to remember that, and maybe I don't give the 100% loyalty next time. Maybe it's going to take you, the person that let you down, a little bit of time to gain back that 100% loyalty. And you don't have to tell them that. I don't have to say it, but I just clock it up.
Yes, and you know, I think you made a key point there as well, Gary, when you said you don't need to tell them that, because I used to do this all the time. That if someone had upset me or whatever, I would feel like I would have to tell them, well, you have done this. And I saw another great quote once, and it said, I'm misquoting here, but, or, you know, making up kind of, but it was along the lines of, if someone has hurt you, you don't need to tell them what they've done. They know what they've done, and they did it anyway. And so there's no point in you expanding that energy. There's no point.
No.
And I think the same with loyalty. If someone has hurt you, you just simply withdraw. And I think that you don't need to tell them, you know, because they'll know what they've done. You don't need to tell them, because you're then putting more energy into it. You're putting more, in a way, you're showing more loyalty to them, because you're saying, okay, well, I'm still here because this is what you've done. No, just literally withdraw your energy. And just wrapping this up, it works perfectly, because this person said, instead of waiting for that person to choose you, why don't you choose you and give yourself an awesome life, so that you never have to wait for someone else to choose you again, because you're choosing yourself. Isn't that brilliant? And that's the thing. If someone is disloyal, you just go, okay, thank you, I remember that. I'm now withdrawing my loyalty, my energy, and I'm going to focus over here. Don't focus on them anymore, and don't give them any more of your time, and don't explain to them, because it's not worth it. Just go that way. Sermon over. And thankfully, hopefully Mercury retrograde is going to be disappearing very, very soon.
Get out.
Liking it. We sort of chill out. Actually, I could do with standing on the balcony tomorrow and putting a posh frock on. I tell you what. Anyway, right. So that is our mindfulness for the day. We're very loyal to each other. We're here every Friday. We're very loyal to you, lovely YouTuber, because we're going to give you another creative exercise now for you to just chill out.
We are. Yes. Okay. Right. Quick slurp of tea.
Okay. Coffee.
What are we going to do? Right, down on the desk here. What am I going to do? So thinking of just about the celebration we're having at the moment. So for us in the UK, we are celebrating the coronation of the king. So we've got a coronation coming up, this bank holiday in, well, it's an extra bank holiday in May, but there's lots of other things going on. You know, we've got May Day celebrations. You might be in wherever you live. You might have carnival going on, things like that. So I created this doodle. So this is my celebrate doodle. So if you're not attending the celebration, or if you're watching a celebration on telly, you think, oh, I'll just do a little bit of creativity, I might be listening to it on the radio, whatever, you can do this doodle. So it's a celebration doodle of strings of bunting, a really easy, quite a nice mindful thing to do. It's quite easy to do. So I've just created this on, let me put this, so this is the strings of bunting. I've even got a Union Jack in there, so just because we're celebrating the coronation here, I'm gonna put that to one side. What do you need? You need a piece of paper. Let me find my piece of paper. So a piece of paper, because we're going to use some wet media here, we're going to use some paints and things. I would say get a sort of a slightly good quality paper, not top range, but maybe a bit of cartridge paper is fine, rather than copy paper. If you've only got copy paper, then just go for it. That's fine. It just will wrinkle up a little bit when you get it wet, but it'll be okay. What else do you need? I always have my 2 jam jars of water, one clean, one for dirty brushes. By my side here, I've got all my paints. So I've got some watercolor paints here. I've got some of those ones which are really nice, strong colors. A couple of paint brushes. Maybe you could use a bigger paintbrush, which I'm going to show you. Put some water on. I've got some colored pencils here, so some nice bright colors. So think bright colors, strong bright colors, because it's about celebrating, it's about having fun, it's party time. And so I think that for me is about bright zingy colors. So oranges, yellows, purples, bright blues, the bright colors. A pen. I've got a couple of biros here, you know, just one biro is fine. A pair of scissors, and another piece of paper about the same quality, sort of got nice sort of, it could be card if you wanted to, it could be from a cereal packet, something like that, but this is again is another piece of just cartridge paper, and we're going to make a little stencil from this in a minute, and I'll show you how to do that shortly. So we're going to just put that to one side. Oh, and I've got my trusty hairdryer, because you know I like to speed things up, but if you're working at home and you haven't got your hairdryer near you, that doesn't matter. You just take a little bit more time between stages to let it dry. All right. Oh, and of course, if we have spills and little drips, I've got my kitchen roll just in case we need it, but we'll be fine. Right, to get started, let me just make a little bit of space here. So to get started, what we're going to do is we're just going to let some paint, just some really bright color paint, just dribble down the page. So if you imagine, that could be streamers, that could be fireworks or something. So we're just doing a little background of just dribbling paint on the background of the paper. So I'm just going to get my paintbrush. I'm going to bring this into view so you can see. I've just got my largest paintbrush, and I'm just going to wet my paper. Now, if you follow any of the other classes or workshops that we've done online for YouTube, you know that we quite often, when we're working with the wet colors, we're just quite often, we actually just wet the page to start with. So just get some water on there. And then I'm going to get my bright colors, and I'm going to just make sure that I get nice and wet. I'm not going to have a dry brush. I'm just going to just add a little bit of color to the top, to there. Just let it come down. I'm going to use maybe 2 or 3 colors, thinking about the sort of things that we are sort of celebrating, that we've got this lovely sort of like a, oh, that's nice. Just put a little bit of blue in, maybe. I like a nice bit of bright red.
Looks like the
Just a
red
little bit of
arrows.
a back.
Looks like the red
It
arrows.
looks like the red arrows. Now, I heard on the radio that maybe the weather might not be appropriate for a flyby today or tomorrow, but we just have to have our fingers crossed because we are still in the. So now, once you've got the paint on, just use your hairdryer just to let it run down and then just dry off. Right. All right. So you want it quite dry, because what you're now going to do is with you could do it with a dark pencil, you could do it with your biro, but you're just going to do a series of like a Z. Imagine like coming from one side here, and you're going to do a Z, and then to the here, and then just bring that down the page like that. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4.
Got it.
Lovely. Okay, right, that's good. So imagine that is you're walking through streets of Bunting. So that is the string that's strung along the along the road above you of the bunting. Now we're going to make our little bunting stencils now. So we're going to just make a stencil that's going to be just really, it's only triangles. So we're going to make a stencil. You can do this with a piece of paper. So I've taken my piece of paper, and I'm not folding it really sharply. I'm just going to lightly just fold it in half, and I'm just going to cut, imagine like a half triangle, like so. So a little, just through the paper. So we've got a triangle. So that's sort of a nice sort of largish triangle, which I can use, you know, a nice large one. Next one, again, below it. So this is going to be my stencil. I'm going to make a slightly smaller triangle. So if you imagine maybe the first triangle, the depth of the first triangle was maybe about 2-3 inches. This one's going to be about 1.5 inches. So it's a smaller one, but it's still a little triangle. So you've got a large triangle, a small triangle. Now, we're going to use this as our stencil. So this is where we're really going to have to think about the application of paint. We don't want to add so much paint that it's going all underneath it, but we're going to just start to look across the line. Imagine this is sort of like the string, and we're going to sort of alternate between a large piece of bunting to a smaller piece of bunting. So I'm just going to get my paintbrush, and again, really bright, get really nice saturated colors. So you're going to really think about the color. You're going to just brush in. Doesn't matter if it does bleed a little bit underneath, but you're just going to brush in on the top that color. So this is where you learn that watercolors do, one, they do sort of like bleed a little bit, but again, they do layer. So you can layer color one on top of the other. So you can do little colors. If you've done a big one like this, then to the side of it over here, then do maybe the smaller size. So you can do the smaller size. So this one, I'm going to make a really nice strong orange.
I don't like my stencil that I cut. I'm just going to do another one because I don't like my triangle. I want a nice.
You don't like your triangle?
No, I want a nice thin one like you.
Okay. Okay, that's all right. I'm going to pick up a really nice. I want a really nice. If I can get a really nice sort of goldy mustard yellow, possibly. Let's see what I can pick up here on the side here. I'm going to pick up a little yellow one. So again, then I'm coming down on the second string, and I line up the bunting like so. I can just do that. What other color shall we have? I'm going to have a really bright green. Let's see what sort of color we can get there. So picking up your brightest colors to go, remember, they're going to go over the top. So you've got to make sure that you've picked up lots of color. Now, if you haven't got paints like this, you could use felt tips, easily felt tips, magic marker pens, anything like that. Or you could just draw the outline. So you could use the same process and draw an outline with a pen or a pencil, and then use coloring. You know, you could use pencils, or you could use crayons to do this as well. So you could easily do that. If you didn't have any watercolors to do the background, you could use food coloring. So you could just wet the background, put some little bits of food coloring and let that drizzle down, and that would work really quite well also. So there's lots of different ways that you can have a go at doing this without having all the equipment or all the materials. You think, oh, I've got to have that, I've got to have this. You haven't. You can find things around the home, in the office. I wonder if anyone is, but I expect there is people working in this country this weekend. I know it's on Saturday, it's not necessarily a complete shutdown of all businesses and things. I think people are still going to be working. And I assume they would just be watching it on their phones or something, wouldn't they?
Yeah, well, my husband is working the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole weekend, but he's driving, so that's, you know,
Yeah. But
stops.
and the trouble is, you see, it's something like that. I said, watching you know, the coronation or a procession like that in our country, it's a visual thing. It's very visual. So rather than say, oh well, I'll just listen to it, it is actually, it's more visual than that. So I think they're going to do a catch up though. I think there is like a catch up in the evening of the highlights, which I'm sure they will do.
Yeah.
How are you getting on? Is that better for you, Rachel? I haven't seen what you're doing. You all right?
Yeah, well, I'm cheating because I'm using acrylics.
Are you?
Yeah,
Well, that, you know, if you've got acrylics,
yeah,
they do give a really nice result. You know, they do. And you find that's better. You've got a nice, more dense color there.
yeah.
Oh, yes, much better. Lovely. So once you only have to go, we're going to pull the image back using a pen. So you don't have to paint into, don't worry that the line isn't straight.
Sure.
Because we're going to pull that. It's about just using the stencil. It could be like a half image. It doesn't have to be the, you know, you don't have to get it exact at this moment. I'll show you what to do in a minute. Right. I want one more color. I want a really, 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 really bright color. I think I'm going to go for the orange down here. I like this orange color. Let's get that orange down there. There we are. Right. Have you done that, Rachel? I've got a, where are we with yours? Let's have a look on screen.
Not yet. Hang on.
Not yet.
I haven't got, you see, I haven't got yellow acrylics. So I thought I'll go for my yellow water paint, but can I get that bright? No.
Yeah, you see, with watercolors, it's a really good layer because watercolors are layers, so they're slightly translucent. Whereas an acrylic is more opaque and has more density to it, so you can paint over the top with things. It just depends what sort of result you want. I mean, if you layer up with, you know, you've got your background and you layer up, you can get a slightly darker shade when you paint again over the top of it.
Eagerly and waiting, eagerly waiting.
Oh.
See, that's supposed to be orange on my paint tray. That's orange. That does not look orange at
That's
all.
come out quite. That's all right. Right. That's it. So that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Let's bring that right into view. Let's see where we are for the moment on yours. Cool. That's okay. That's fine. Right. There is an opportunity then to put in some smaller little bits of bunting in between, which we'll do in a minute. First of all, what we're going to do, just going to give that a very quick dry. Just give it a quick dry with the hairdryer.
Good. Okay, good, good, good.
Okay. All right. Right. Now with a biro or a pen marker or something like that, like a, could be a, yeah, I've got one of these sort of like a, just a water resistant little pen, use a biro. You're just going to, now you're going to just pull the image back. So you're just going to draw around just the line. It's just going to draw the triangle. The triangle could be, draw it on the inside, outside, but it just pulls the image together. And remember, you've got a couple of little knots as they're tied to the string. So you've got a couple of little, you just make it almost like two little, like, what would I say? Like little butterfly wings, really, like we were last week. And just do that either side of it. Just do the triangle. Just draw the triangle. Don't try and be exact. That's why I would say, you know, you don't have to paint the lines really, really sharp, you know, up to the edge. You can just draw your triangles back in.
Right.
Try them in. Have you got a biro, Rachel?
Yeah, I'm just starting that bit now.
Great. Yeah, that's it. And so it's just, it animates it, and by doing that, your little line drawings in there, it just starts to animate your bunting. Great. So you've done all the ties. Now you can just draw around, just draw into the triangle, just draw very quickly. Don't, that's it. One line, not sketching backwards and forwards. That's it. That's it. Perfect. Okay, right. So as you feel a bit, you've now got your pen in your hands and you've been practicing and you've been drawing your bunting. Now you're going to go freestyle. Whoa, watch out. So now you can draw little lines, little like lines across and back to join up. And from that, you're going to just draw little triangles below. Oh, triangle upside down there, right? And you're going to just do some more freestyle little triangles. So this is small bunting between. I think I might have a little one going from there to there. Triangles. That should do it. Oh, I could have one here. Or maybe I just have one up there as well. Little triangles. And then the little triangles, then you can just pick up your colors. So you're just going to get your brush again. But this time, that's it, Ray. Lovely. So you just put a little, you don't have to concentrate. When you're painting in these, you don't have to like get up to the edges. You're literally just giving it a suggestion of color. So pick up a bright color and I'll put a red, maybe it's a sort of a plummy red one here. I've done one there. And then while I've got my paint on my brush, I come over here and I do another plummy one there, plummy one there, there, and there. That'll do. Then change your color, wash your color out. Then I'm going to go for that. Oh, I've got a really nice blue here. So I'm going to pick up a nice blue. So again, then my next one is this blue. And a blue down here, a blue here, a blue there. What shall I do next? Oh, there is somewhere on my palette. It's this lovely purple. So I've got this purple. So I can add a purple color. And then what's next? What can I have? I'm going to go, I've still got some orange, some really bright orange left. So I can just do a little bit of orange. Orange. That should be enough. I think I've coloured them all in now. So again, I can just finish off with a hairdryer. That looks good, actually, Rachel. It's, you know, you said about the colours, but you've got a nice tone of colours there. I like that olive green going with that sort of reddy colour that you've got there. That looks nice.
Which one?
The one on yours, so you've got they got red and orange. So you've got that lovely green, that sort of olive green there next to the red is, again, I always quite often say this about sort of colour wheels and complementary colours. Olive green next to a nice dark rich red is complementing each other. If you look on the colour wheel, green is its complementary colour to red. So
Yeah.
you've got that. See, it's coming in natural. It's embedded in you already.
It's embedded in the brain.
Looks nice.
Yeah. I love it. I just love
I think the little bunting in between, once you've got the confidence, when you've got that pen in your hand, you've just drawn around all the other triangles, then you've got the confidence to go off and do a bit of freestyle, doodling just at the side and just filling in with lots of little bits of bunting in between the big flags.
Yeah. Hang on, let's just do, I think I've got one more little flag to pop in. Yes. Now that's interesting because with my little brush, I'm getting stronger watercolor.
Ah, well, that is interesting then. So it just needs to, you know, I have, if I look in my little palette, let me just get a piece of paper on the paper. So I look in this is the brushes that I've got at the moment. So I've got that big one that I use for just for water, just putting the water on, but I can do wash it. I can get color on the background with that as well. And then I have one which is like the square tipped one, which is that size. And then if I put it next to my hand, you can see, and then one which is much more of just a point. And then I can just use that like this action and just dab in a little bit of paint there.
Okay.
Brilliant. I'm bringing mine into view. There we are. There you go. And of course, if like on the original, let me bring the other one. What have I done? So the original, if I've done the original, if you want to make a little black, a national flag, it could be wherever you are in the world, your national flag. What you can do, what I've done is actually cut it out on a piece of white paper. I've painted my flag on, and then I've stuck it over the top of the flag. So it really stands out then. And then I've used some stencil stamps and just write celebrate. But it could be anything. It could be happy birthday, celebrate, hurrah.
Hey, good times come.
Yes, but I was going to say, you've got coloured pencils there, so you can work in with coloured pencils if you want to, and draw around them again. You can add like little stars and fireworks going off.
Love it.
Right, let's have a look. Paul, you might have to give your camera up a little bit so we can see the top of where you're up to. I can't see.
Yes, you could even do a little bird on here, but I haven't got the confidence to do a little bird on. I don't know.
Not yet. Later. Yeah. Good.
Right. So that's what I wrote.
Oh, I like that. Yes.
Yes. So there you are. Let me just take my phone off, and then I can show it full screen. There we are.
Do you know, I mean, as we're working on these things, and hopefully if anyone's following us and just going through all the processes, I can see the confidence in your mark making and your artwork. It's really, it is. It's really cool.
Yeah, I like it. The only thing is I feel my flags are too big. I think they're more like huge Santa stockings compared to yours. Yours is very tasteful. Mine is a little bit.
Do you know, Rachel, you always find out, I find this is good. You always say, oh, it's not the same as Gary's, or you comparing. You mustn't. It's brilliant. It's really good. And I'm sure our viewers and people that follow us will say, no, Rachel, we really liked yours. I'm sure they will, because I think it's great. It's not too big.
Well, do you know something? I still love it because I've loved just playing and painting and sketching as we always do. So absolutely lovely, lovely exercise as per normal. Let's bring it back to Oz.
Okay.
Yes, I think that's lovely, and it's definitely going to go on my. But this the other day I was doing a class. And one of the teachers was, teaching, and then it came to me, and I was talking. And I think we were talking about mindfulness a bit. And I said, oh, you should watch our YouTube channel. And I said, these are the things that I've done on the YouTube. And just that quick shot there, people were like, wow, what is all that? And if you look here, it is just colour and sketching and drawing. And it's so nice to just have on the wall as just things that you've done. And as we've pointed out again, you're just playing, and it's been fantastic to have that, especially with the 2 weeks of hellish stuff going on with me. That has been brilliant to just sit and doodle. So thank you very much, Gary, as always.
Brilliant.
You have come up with the guts. You've come up with the guts. I've turned into a royal. I don't think we have turned into. I don't think royals talk like that today. No. Right. Lovely YouTuber. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button, please subscribe, please leave us a comment, and if you are doing any of these things, do put them on social media and tag us in at Gary Mills Designs, at CraftyMonkies, remember MONKIES, and we will then put them onto our stories. One of our ladies, Dawn, Tawns, I think, I'm not sure how you say her second name, actually, Tawnes or Tawns, but anyway, Dawn, lovely Dawn. She is American, and she always does these YouTubes every week, and she always tags us in, doesn't she, Gary? And she just does beautiful work every single time. But I think more than her beautiful work, she just enjoys the process every week. It gives her her time. Very creative lady, and we love seeing what you do. So yes, please. And we've got another lady, I think she's called Michelle, Gary. She's been leaving a lot of comments. I think she just found us and then went, whoa, and has been working her way through the tea time tutorials. So
shout out to
Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Hi, girl. So yeah, very, very good. So thank you very much for your lovely comments as well. Right, we will go. We will be back again next Friday. We always post on Friday with another tea time tutorial. No idea what it will be. In fact, this morning I only knew about this 10 minutes before we went live. And that's the point. If you've got your little kit together, you can do it. You don't need a huge setup. Right, lovely. Okay. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.